Morning everyone. Pete in his greenhouse today. The bee shed's been left alone. Today we're going to make a frame feeder. It's what, as you can see, it's a frame to feed bees with. Complicated. Do is we're going to start off two ways. We'll have a standard frame. So you can see this is a brood frame. Nice big deep one. You can use shallow frame, medium frames, you can use horizontal frames, you can use left-handed frames, you can even use pink ones. As long as there's no blue spots on them, you can use those frames. What we're going to do is start with a frame. We're going to remove the wax, very simply. Once you've removed the wax, all we're going to do is we're just going to staple across the side here two pieces of plywood. I'm using very thin plywood from my local hardware shop. I bought a sheet 600mm square, 2-foot square. It's 3mm thick plywood. It's not water grade, boil proof, food proof and all the rest of it. It was just cheap plywood. Cost me £2. What we're going to do then is, once we've done that, you will end up with something like this. Here's one I prepared earlier, my Blue Peter moment, now being finished. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the inside of it up with varnish, or in my case I'm going to use fiberglass resin. Reason why I'm using fiberglass resin, because I've mended 2 canoes over the winter time and I've still got a big bucket of it left. If you go into a car shop or something like that, they do small tins of fiberglass resin for mending cars. That would be more than enough, one of those little tins. More than enough to fill this up. You haven't got to fill it to the brim. What we're going to do is we're going to put some in, roll it round, empty it up and down, empty it out. So what's in there is basically a permanent waterproof lining. Maybe just a little bit just around the edges here as well, just to make them a little bit harder wearing. But that's it. Next option, and this is the one that I've done with this, is I will show later on. I've got this, but inside this one I've actually got a stick at a diagonal angle. It doesn't go all the way to the end to allow the syrup and the bees to go that way, but it's at an angle. The reason is a bit of a ramp for the old bees. But this one, as you can see, is unlike the first one, which is a frame that I've converted. What I've got here is some pieces of timber, again from the hardware shop. These are 25mm wide and they are 6mm thick, which is roughly, in Old English, 1.25 by a quarter. It's doorstop, if you ask for that. Door edge bead, doorstop. And what I've got is basically 2 pieces I've cut for the rights, piece for the bottom, piece for the top. Cut to the same length, top bar, as the ordinary standard frames. But this one will hold more because it's wider. What I've done then is ordinary waterproof glue around the edge, and if you look carefully, yes, staples. There's no need to nail it. It's 3mm thick plywood. It's as thick as cardboard. I've got a staple gun. I've got some 7 or 8mm staples. Not food grade stainless steel, just ordinary staples. And I'll just staple, you know, around the edges and like that, to stop all the resin falling out, as well as the glue. I haven't made these waterproof in any way, shape or form. I've not even tried, because I shall do it with the resin or with the varnish or with paint, whatever you wish to put in there. If you want, you can make it waterproof from the beginning. You could use plexiglass, perspex. If you can get hold of polythene sheeting that's thick enough, plastic sheeting, polypropylene. I used to work for a place where we used to have polypropylene sheeting coming in. You could use that. It would be good if you could have one side clear, because then you could see inside. That would make a big difference. This one with the ramp will only be used once as a trial, purely and simply because I can't see inside it. I don't know if there's bees trapped in there before I fill it back up, etc, etc, etc. I need to make a better version than this, but this is a Mark 1. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm not going to do a thing about fiberglassing. There's plenty of that on YouTube and the rest of the internet. What I'll do though is I'll put the camera back on later once these things have been filled up and poured out. Okay, so you just pour the resin in from the top, and you just slosh it around, and then pour it out into the next one, and then once you're finished with that, then whatever's left we'll just have around the outside. The sellotape, the brown, the silver tape here, this is purely for, because they're not waterproof. I did say I didn't make them waterproof. The sellotape around the edges will hold the resin in whilst it's setting. It takes an hour. After that I'll take the tape off and the resin is finished. Thank you very much. See you soon.